Guys, before we get today's video started, just want to give you a heads up. I was just able to eat for the first time in 3 days. I have been terribly sick for like, what seems like ever now. So if there's a lack of energy in today's video, that does not represent how I feel about the product that we're talking about. That just represents the severe lack of feel good that I've had. But hey, weight loss. So guys, sickness aside, welcome to another episode of my First Fit series where I take a product and I ride around with it for a couple weeks and I tell you guys what my first impressions are on it. Today, it is probably the most excited I've been for an episode of this series. It is a heads-up display for your motorcycle helmet. It's called a Nuviz and it makes your riding feel like a freaking video game. I cannot wait to get this video started. Let's go. So guys, this is a Nuviz. It allows you to have a heads-up display in your motorcycle. So it's gonna overlay things like GPS, the music you're playing, phone calls that are coming in. It will actually show you the route of your GPS, similar to something you would see on your phone or something like that. And it is all housed inside of this little thing. It even has a camera. You can take photos, you can take video with this thing. It is absolutely phenomenal. Let's break it down into all its parts because this thing can do a lot, so I'm gonna have to break it down part by part. First off, let's look at the photo and video features of this guy. So like I said, the Nuviz is capable of photo and video. When it comes to the photo mode, you're able to do 8 megapixel stills, and it's really cool when you hit the photo button on the little remote that I'll talk about in a second, it actually brings up a little display of what shot you're looking at. So you can actually frame your shots and all that kind of stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. As far as the quality goes, it's not gonna be the highest quality camera you're gonna get, but I think it does a fantastic job for being part of such a big little ecosystem that's sitting on your helmet. I actually posted a couple of the photos that I took on Instagram and everybody thought it was a GoPro Hero 6. So obviously, quality on point. So one of the really cool features about the photo mode is that you can take photos with the 8 megapixel camera, and once you take them on the Nuviz, they are actually saved via Bluetooth onto your phone's camera roll. I'm an iPhone user, so it's called camera roll, so whatever it's called for Android users, it does the same thing. But it automatically saves the photo to your phone, so then once you get off the bike, you're able to share whatever photos you took instantly, and you don't have to do any type of like transfer with SD cards and stuff like that. It makes sharing what happens while you're out riding really freaking easy, and especially as a content creator like myself, I love the fact that I can get off my bike, everything's on my phone, I can just boop, Instagram, done, thank you. So photos are magically just put on your phone with the Nuviz, but videos are not the same. They're actually saved on the micro SD card that is inside of the Nuviz, and you can use SD cards up to 128 gigabytes, which is a ton of space for video on this thing, so you can hold plenty of video on it. Now I have to say, I was really happy about the fact that when you are recording video, it actually overlays your audio from the mic that's inside of your helmet into the video of the Nuviz. That means that if you hook this thing up, you will literally be good to go with motovlogging with the Nuviz. Now here's a test clip of me when I was testing out the audio. I want you to keep in mind before you watch the video, I'm used to talking in my helmet with a very specific microphone and I'm used to talking really loud. So I was talking a little louder than I should have been for the mic. I wasn't used to the sensitivity. But if this was your main camera and motovlogging setup, you would easily be able to just talk at the correct volume and you would actually have a motovlogging setup like that. You wouldn't have to just fuss with all this kind of stuff. Check the clip out.
Audio test for the Nuviz camera. I know there's a microphone inside of this helmet right now for the Nuviz, which is what I guess I could take calls with. The question is, can I talk to it?
I don't know about you, but for me, from a guy that's been testing tons of stuff for many years now, it's awesome that you can get that level of quality right out of the box with everything they send you. Now as far as what's running the Nuviz, it's going to be running a smartphone-like Qualcomm quad-core processor that has a slew of sensors including an accelerometer, a gyroscope, an altimeter, and all types of other stuff that I probably won't pronounce correctly. So as far as the GPS on this thing goes, it has downloadable maps that are saved locally on the device, so once you download a map for the specific area you are looking for, like state, your phone is no longer needed to use the navigation. It'll actually be using the GPS inside of the unit in conjunction with the maps that it downloaded. So for me, I downloaded Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama. I downloaded all of the local states around me. So that way, if I go on a trip locally, I'll have the maps already on the Nuviz and I won't have to use my phone at all for GPS. So the Nuviz runs off of a single rechargeable 3250 milliamp lithium ion battery, which says it lasts up to 8 hours depending on your usage. Now with a product like this, the way you use it is going to greatly vary the amount of battery length you're going to get. Now if you're doing something like music and GPS and you're taking phone calls, your battery life is not going to be as good as something as maybe you were just riding around listening to music. So your battery life is going to massively vary depending on how you use it. I am really happy to say that these batteries are actually replaceable. You can take it out of the Nuviz, and they're only 25 bucks to get an extra one. So you could just get a couple extra batteries and you would be solid as far as battery life. In my experience using the Nuviz, I actually never had it run out of battery on me, and I used it multiple days without charging it. So the battery life's gotta be solid. I haven't gone through an entire test where I just ran it until it died one day, but if I can use it for 3 days of riding and it not die on me, that's pretty solid in my book. All right, so moving on, let's talk about the control unit that comes with the Nuviz. So the control unit you use is this small circular controller. At first, I'm sure you're wondering how long is the battery life gonna last on that thing? Well, because it uses Bluetooth low energy, the controller's battery life can literally last for years. Yes, years. Trust me, I read that and I'm like, months? Oh no, years. Oh, okay, cool. What? They also have this really cool mounting solution for the controller. It can either attach to your sport bike with this little M1 mount, which gives you plenty of placement options even after it's stuck in place with a sticky pad, or you can use their flat mount depending on where you want it installed. Personally, I recommend you install it somewhere close to your motorcycle controls. That way when you're out riding, you still have thumb control over the controller, so you can control your Nuviz without having to move around too much outside of what you're normally going to be moving around. The controller is also super simple, super small. There's not a lot of frills here. It has 4 buttons in 4 quadrants. And after you ride around one time using it, you get really familiar with where those buttons are. The first couple times you might have to look down to find a button, but you very quickly learn what you're looking for and where it's located. All right, so now about the HUD, or heads-up display, which is what displays all of the information coming from the Nuviz. Here is a screenshot of all the things that you can see on the HUD. So you can see incoming calls, you can see your music being played on your phone, you can see your GPS, and you can see the speedometer. Now the speedometer even shows you the speed limit of the road that you're on, as well as showing you how much faster you're going above the speed limit, noted by these little yellow bars that turn yellow after white once you've passed the speed limit. When I tell you this thing makes riding feel like a video game, I promise you it does, because you're gonna see those little yellow bars come up, and that's gonna trigger something. It's like, I wonder if it's red at the end of it. Don't test it, because I tried. So after riding with the Nuviz for a little while, I was really happy with the HUD. It was see-through enough to be able to see through it if I needed to, but it wasn't too dim so I couldn't see it when I needed to. You can also position this thing exactly where you need to depending on where your eyesight comes, and you can also attach it to the side of your helmet to get that perfect placement. So if you want it in your line of sight, if you want it down to the corner of your line of sight, you can decide all of that when you're attaching it to your helmet. I've been really happy with the way it looks. Now, back in the day, I tried a certain product out that had a heads-up display inside of a helmet. And the HUD in that, I wasn't too happy with, because if it was bright outside and I needed to see the HUD, I actually had to look for something dark to put it as the background so that I could actually see the HUD. I've actually not had this problem with the Nuviz. I can look, obviously I can't look into the sun or anything, which I don't recommend at all, but I can actually look around and I don't have to find something dark to be able to see what's on my screen. Now, a quick note on packaging. These guys, they hit me in my soft spot. You guys know what my favorite part of packaging is? That's right. When a company uses magnetic closures to close and open the box. I am a sucker for it. I'm not sorry for it. It is an awesome little feature. Also, inside of the box, everything is laid out super clean, super easy to find all of the parts you need to get it put on the bike. I love the packaging experience. It was really clean. Good job unboxing experience for you guys over at Nuviz. All right, so let's talk about mounting this thing on your helmet, or helmets if you have multiple. So this is one of the coolest things about this product that I had no clue about. Very similar to the Senna, the Nuviz attaches to your helmet via this little connector that can easily slide on and off. This makes it much easier to charge or just take off your helmet if you don't want to ride with the unit attached. So what this allows you to do if you have multiple helmets that you like riding in is you can go and purchase extra mounting clips and use the 3M tape and just attach it to all the helmets you like riding with. And that way you can just hop swap the little Nuviz onto whatever helmet you're gonna be riding with that day. All right, so let's talk about sound quality. Part of the package you get with the Nuviz is headphones and a microphone that goes into your helmet. That's how I got the microphone audio when I was showing you the video clip. Now let's talk about sound quality. Now I'm not gonna lie, the speakers on the Nuviz are not that great. If the Sena 20S speakers are a 10, I'd probably give the Nuviz a solid 3, maybe. What's cool is if you already have a Sena product or another Bluetooth device, you can actually connect that device to your Nuviz and you won't even have to take the Sena out and it will use your Bluetooth device to deliver the music to your helmet. I definitely plan on installing the Nuviz on a helmet that I already have a Sena attached to. I figured if you're the type of person that is looking into the Nuviz, then you probably are interested in motorcycle tech, and in that case, I'd be willing to bet you already have some sort of Bluetooth helmet device. Now, I do want to note, as of a couple days ago, Nuviz put out a update to the Nuviz. I think it's like 1.5 or something like that, and supposedly it increases the level at which the audio can come out from an iPhone device. I haven't installed that update, so that could have helped the audio in the device. Can't say because I haven't used it yet, so there's that. All right, so next up, let's talk about the user interface of the Nuviz, and what that is how the menus are laid out and how you go about getting to different information on the Nuviz or in the HUD. So when you're out riding, there are already a million things happening, and the last thing you need to be thinking about is, how do I navigate the menus on the Nuviz? I can easily say, during your first ride, it's probably gonna take an hour to get used to using it, and after the first ride, you're not even gonna look down at the controller anymore, and you're gonna know exactly how to navigate what you wanna do on the Nuviz. After using it for a few weeks now, I can say the photo feature on it and having the little preview of what my shot's gonna look like is by far my favorite thing as a photographer slash videographer. Being able to frame my shot of the photo that I wanna take on the road, whether I'm passing a really cool car, or I just wanna take a photo of something cool on the side of the road, or my friend wheeling, I can actually know that what I'm wanting to take a photo of is actually in the shot. I absolutely love that feature. And then it gets synced to my phone and I can just post it right after I ride. Mwah, freaking love it. Now, I'm gonna get a little ahead of the game because I know a lot of you guys are probably looking at the photos of the Nuviz on a helmet and you're probably saying to yourself, oh my gosh, it's so big. I have a question for you though. It's big compared to what? Now, I review a lot of products here on my channel and I am a huge tech fan, and it is not often that I get to talk about tech in the motorcycle industry. It's just an area that tech has not really got into. And I do think that this product is a little bigger than I wish it was, but there is no basis to work that from. There's no previous product to say it should be smaller than that. This is a first gen product of something that's really awesome and that can be even better in the future. And the way tech works, if you guys aren't familiar, something starts out big, it can do a lot of stuff. And over time, that tech gets adopted. Think of the iPhone, for instance. Look at the very first iPhone. Thing was giant. And as it got better and longer and it got adopted, it got thinner, can do more things. That's exactly how tech works, and it's no different on a Nuviz. If we embrace this tech on helmets, we'll start getting more tech in the motorcycling community. And as a tech person, that gets me so freaking excited. So I'm not gonna pretend that the motorcycle and tech group of things doesn't have a giant band-aid on it right now because of a specific company that we're not gonna mention. And I totally understand that mentality, but something that is extremely different with the Nuviz versus that product is that that product was a proof of concept that they had a couple mock-ups of that worked. The Nuviz is actually selling. You can buy this thing in huge retailers, Amazon, Revzilla. Do I need to say anymore? Like, this is an actual product you buy and the company sends the product to you. It's an entirely different category than, hey, we've made this really cool thing that we want you to give us a lot of money for, and you might get it. It's an entirely different thing, so I don't feel like comparing them is even close. All I know is I really want to see more tech in motorcycling, and by adopting brand new ideas like a Nuviz, you know, it puts us down a path of like, okay, tech in the motorcycle industry works. Hopefully we'll get more now that companies see that motorcyclists want tech and stuff in their gear, in their bikes, in their helmets, whatever. That's how the tech world works, ladies and gentlemen. If you want more of it, you gotta support it. I am personally going to support the hell out of the Nuviz because I feel very strongly about tech and motorcycling. Now, no more ranting, let's move on to final thoughts. With the main downsides only being the size and the sound quality, which isn't really a problem since I already use a Senna, I think this is a really awesome product to grab if you are like me and want as much tech as you can get when it comes to riding. I'll go ahead and tell you, once you use the Nuviz to go riding and you have maps, can frame your photos and get speed information, it's really hard to just go back to riding without it. When you ride with the Nuviz, you really get to feel like you're riding in a video game with all your information at your eyes whenever you need it, and I personally love that feeling. Now, I'll admit, $700 is really expensive, but when you consider that getting one of these is going to drastically change your riding experience, I think that the price actually makes sense, especially for all the stuff it can do. At least it does, in my opinion. But guys, that's about all I've got for the first fit video on the Nuviz. I'm gonna keep riding with it for months down the road, and I'll let you guys know what I think about it at that point. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. I will be in the comments right when this video comes out for a little while, answering any questions that I can for you guys. Hopefully you guys are excited as I am for tech with motorcycle helmets. It is just an awesome freaking time. If you guys are interested in grabbing a Nuviz for yourself, I've got information and links in the description. You can grab it off Amazon and Revzilla. Those are my two recommended spots. But guys, I'm Chaseontwowheels. This has been a first fit video of the Nuviz, the heads-up display for your motorcycle helmets. It's good times, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, and I will see you on the next one. Later.